Stay in your lane. We are not the same. We cannot explain things about to change. Cause we run the game. Cause we run the game.
Howdy doody everybody, welcome to another NewForm event with me, your host Brandon Gross, and our awesome, lovely co-host and co-founder of NewForm, Cole Jan. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, Brandon?
Excelente. We have another Wednesday workshop session, something different for you guys, even though probably everything that you're reading on the screen, if you're watching on Instagram, reads Figma to Wix Studio, but we are specifically working on something today super awesome that you could do this in Figma. We'll talk about it if you have questions and how you would do such a thing. But today we're going to show you guys how to make an awesome 3D gallery slider for your website without any code. So with that being said, if you guys are watching this on Instagram, whether you're on here watching this via Daily Web Designs or UI UX Daily Tips, if you guys want to watch this on YouTube, please comment to YouTube and we'll send you guys an automatic DM so that you guys can watch this live on YouTube with us. We're going to be taking all the questions, all of that on YouTube. So if you guys want to come over, subscribe, all that good stuff, we would love to have you, and we would love to answer your questions and anything that you would like to really ask over on YouTube. We'll keep our eyes out on Instagram, but all the conversation, all those things are going to be happening on the YouTube side of things. If you guys are watching this for the first time, we would love to know where you guys are watching from and also how you found NewForm to begin with. A lot of the people who are over on YouTube are already part of the NewForm family. You guys know the awesome workshops, challenges, and all those cool things that we do each and every month. And we love you back. But for those of you guys who are brand new to us, we want to share just before we get into our workshop what we have going on this month. What we have going on in this month is we have our famous challenge that we have each and every month. Our prize pool is $2,000. We have a SaaS theme challenge where you guys can go to newform.community/challenge and you guys can opt into our awesome challenge where really you can build whatever it is you want, things that exist, things that don't exist, in regards to building something that you enjoy just within the theme of SaaS. First place, or we're not going to get into that. It's all on the newform.community site. But as I said, the prize pool is $2,000. The top prize is $1,500. And there's a lot going on there. So we're super excited. We are 11 days out from the deadline. So if you guys want to go ahead and get started with that, you got 11 days. We're excited to see what you guys put up. All right. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to get into. And as we move forward this workshop, if you have any questions about what platform we're using, how did we do what we did, how exactly did I do what I did, if you need us to slow down, please put that in the chat. Cole will be facilitating all of the conversation so I can do what I do on the screen, and he's the conversation facilitator. So it's good to see you guys here. Let us know in the chat where you are, how you found us, and any questions that you have. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's get us started and share my screen. And also, Cole, you know the deal. Any commentary, any things that you think we should recircle back to, just let us know and we'll do that.
For sure.
All right. Okay, guys. So what we have first is, this is kind of what we're building. And let me full screen it here so everybody can see. And as I mentioned to you guys before, if you are on Instagram, we love you. We know this is our largest audience, but if you guys are struggling to watch, as the caption says below, if you want to watch and see the full tutorial full screen, come and watch us on YouTube by commenting YouTube. So kind of what we have here is we have this sort of the faux 3D slider tutorial that we have. And by the way, if you guys are wanting to have this template for yourself, you like what we built here, you like the visuals, and you kind of want to play with it yourself, if you guys want to go to newform.community, and I think everybody in the NewForm community got emails prior so that they can actually download this, but we have a component library which is new. So if you guys have feedback, let us know. You can download our 3D gallery right here. You just click on it and you can go to the download section here and you guys can play with it. Later, we'll put that link in the description, but for those of you guys who are in the NewForm community, you guys already have it. For those who are new, you'll just have to go to NewForm community component library. So how we're going to go ahead and start this is pretty basic. There's like 3 parts to this. I tried to do, especially for our first one, something that's nice and light that we can just get started easily and quickly with our component library. Really, there's 3 pieces to this, and how we're going to break this down is I'm going to show you the puzzle pieces, and then we're going to recreate this puppy really from scratch. Really, I'm just going to maybe copy and paste some things so I don't have to redo some stuff, but I'm going to show you how we break up the page, how we put in our the assets so that we get this sort of look and feel again, because really all this is text, this is a button, and then this is a slider with 2 shapes on the top and bottom, and maybe 3 animations. So it's really simple. So just to give you guys a quick look at the full picture here, I'm going to go ahead and let's look at this piece here. So I'm going to control fresh this. So we have this animation here, we have this button template piece here, the hover animation, and we also had the onload of the slider here. We did add a little bit of extra in the piece that we're showing you guys today, which is, again, it's literally a click of a button. It's just this button movement that follows the mouse here. And for those of you guys who are watching, this isn't just a desktop thing, this is actually fully responsive. I can squeeze this all the way down to mobile, so it works out. So what you guys are going to be getting today is something that's fully responsive. You can pull into any project that you wish. You might just have to change the typography, but let us begin. So all we have to do for this is pretty straightforward. And I'm going to open up a brand new page here. And for those of you guys who are wondering what platform we're using, what is this? It's Wix Studio. If you guys are brand new to web design, or you're looking for a tool that allows you as a designer to actually just build visually, this is an awesome tool. Let's see, workshop. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to set up basically the foundations here. So if you guys are new to Wix Studio, there's a lot of things that you might need help understanding. And honestly, if you guys take a look at all the other past events that we have in NewForm, a lot of the basics are covered. So I'm going to try to figure out what is the best path for those who are watching here today. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit basic to intermediate. So if I go a little too fast for you, if you have questions on what the hell did you just do, literally let Cole know or let us know in the chat and we'll pause. Alrighty. So all I'm going to go ahead and do is in our new page over here, we have a blank page. This is kind of how Wix Studio populates. All I want to do here is I'm going to open up my side inspector panel here, and I'm going to turn everything to the advanced settings. A lot of people, when they start using Wix Studio, a lot of them like to use what is called like the scaling pixel. You can still design visually when using that stuff, but I like to be very specific. Like for example, if you're using scaling pixels, what is happening there and how we know we're in scaling pixels, if I go back, is it has pixels and a little star. What that does is it allows Wix Studio to kind of guesstimate based on where you're placing things on the screen, where it should place things as things respond or as the screen width changes. I'd rather be very specific about where my placements of my elements are because I'm a control freak. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to click these 3 dots. As I select the section, I'm going to go to advanced settings, and that is the first step. The second piece, what we want to do is I want to separate this whole section and actually increase the height. I'm going to open up another tab here, so it's easy for me to go back and forth between the 2 pages instead of going tab up, tab down. I'm just going to open up the original here. So how I have this built out, this section that we have, it is a height of 90 vertical height. What that means is in VH means, or it's viewport height, excuse me, not vertical height. Viewport height basically is saying, hey, take a look at the screen that this is being displayed on. Can we be 90% of that screen height? So what I'm trying to do and what I have done is I took the menu and I did 10% vertical height or viewport height, excuse me, and I made the section be 90. So we have both together, we have 90%. So I'm going to do 90 VH, perfect. And so now we have 100% viewport height for when someone opens this up on desktop. So if we go back here, this is why this whole section here takes up this whole, basically this whole piece here. The only reason it's scrolling, because the way that we built it, it shouldn't. It's just because of what is displayed here. This this little strip has 50, probably like 50 pixels width or worth of movement. So if we were actually to open this up, there would not be any scrolling. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is the first piece that I want is I want to separate this section into two. I want a part for the text and the button, and I want a part for the gallery. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. I am going to go to our layout here. I'm going to separate this into two. I could do it in an advanced way where I go to the rows and all that stuff, but literally I like to choose the layouts and I click just like that. It separates them. Now, one of the things I want to look at very quickly is because these separated into cells. Now, this is cool and all, but that is a basic form of or feature of Wix Studio, which does help a lot of people. But again, I like to be a control freak. I want to choose where exactly everything goes. And also the advanced form allows you to be a little bit more specific and creative as a designer, because you can move more things and be a little bit more flexible. So to make sure I get that flexibility, I go to this advanced CSS grid. I hit apply. I apply CSS grid. I'm going to click my section again, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look for our layout here. I'm going to open this drop down, and I'm going to do the 1x2. And now we have this. Now, instead of two blocks separated, I have one whole block just semi-separated by this line here, which is going to be a lot more helpful for me, because I can actually, with using cells, I can't be flexible. Like, for example, if in one breakpoint, let's say mobile, I wanted this text on desktop to be here, and then for whatever reason on tablet, I wanted to move the text down here. If I had cells, it would make it very difficult for me to do that. So again, we're not going to get into all the minutia. The easiest way to do this, and honestly, in the future, if you guys are just messing with Wix Studio and you're watching our tutorials, we always put everything on the advanced settings. So we have our advanced settings turned on all the things for our section and also for our layout here. And now we're going to just go ahead and grab some of the text. Now, I was going to cheat a little bit and honestly just copy and paste this stuff. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to right click into my section here, and I'm going to go ahead and quick add a title. And I'm just going to copy the words here. Uh-oh. Copy paste. All right. I'm going to pull this out to where I desire. I'm also going to grab what the name of this font was, Fixture Ultra Media, and go ahead and change that. Boom. I'm going to make sure that everything is capitalized. I'm going to grab the font, 130 pixels. And I'm going to change the height on this, and I'm trying to see 0.8 EMs. Okay. And all this stuff, basically why I like Wix Studio is because it's very reminiscent of any design tool. On the right hand side, you have your essentially your elements or the tools to edit what it is that you have selected visually on your canvas. And everything to the left, it has to do with layers. There's an addition of a CMS, but it literally, if you want to keep it to basics, right hand side is to edit details, left hand side is the bigger picture things, layers, pages, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and separate or center align this. We'll get in the colors later, but right now I just want to get all of the basic stuff in. Text, button, photo gallery, shapes, and then we'll pull everything together. So we have this, we're going to right click, we're going to add a button here. We're just going to change the text here. We're going to go ahead and say, Cole, what should we say? Because we're kind of doing this a little bit different. We can say start now. What do you think? What should we say? Should we keep start now?
Well, it's for a art business, hey? So maybe like view the gallery or view our work.
We'll go with view our work.
So
If you guys in the chat, if you guys in the chat think otherwise, let us know. View our work. And I think I want to all caps this. View our work. Howdy, Alana. I see you in the chat. How you doing, Missy? Thank you for joining the chat. Let me see. So we got view our work. And now the next thing, we have the most, we literally have 2/3 of this done. Alana, I like it. Explore our work. The great thing about this, guys, is like, and also we're trying to find our groove with this too. We want to make this a little bit more experimental. Sure, we're learning, we're sharing you guys how to build stuff, but we want this to be like a conversation. Cool, we're showing you guys how to do stuff, but if you guys have really good ideas in the chat, or you're like, what about this? What about that? Can we do this? Just ask in the chat. We'll try to make it happen. Because this stuff is already done. Honestly, you guys don't even have to come to the live stream. It's already built. You guys can go to newform.community and literally download it and never see us again. But we're sexy. So you come back and you join the live stream and you have awesome conversations with us, and you test with us in the live stream how to make this stuff or how to change it a little bit. So that's really what you guys can get out of this, because we build it for you. You guys can go away with it, but we try to experiment, have a little bit more of a conversation and interaction with the live stream. So, okay, what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to put this, there's 2 ways you can do this. I personally like to, because of flexibility, I personally like to go with containers. Containers basically contain whatever you have within them. Easy, explainable. You put cookies in a container, you put elements in Wix Studio within containers to contain them. But there is another option called a stack. A lot of people do like stacks because how simple it is to essentially put assets together and maintain and edit the, the distance between these, or between the elements. So you have to take your pick, and everybody in our community literally has like a different feel about it. We can try stack, but I'll show you guys why. Maybe we'll do stack for now, and then we'll see what the how this turns out and why we use containers. But I just want to say howdy to Den. We got Jack. Oh wait, hold on, that's you, Jack. Or Cole. You got 3 people in there. I like it.
I had the wrong count.
Next. It's all good. Cole says hi, guys. All right. So up next, what we're going to go ahead and do is let's go ahead and get this gallery into play. So we're going to go over to this plus here, and we are going to find our gallery. And let's see. You know what? This always escapes me. I feel like a lot of the times I use the quick add. But let me see. Let's go gallery. And it's not that one. Oh, actually it is. Okay. Perfect. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we want to, so this pro gallery populated inside of our section, but in the wrong part of the grid. So what we're going to go ahead and do is these highlighting things, we're just going to push this, it's right in the top grid where our text is. We don't want it there. We want it down in the bottom half of our grid, and we want a total different layout for the media. So we're going to go ahead and go to manage. Let me see, not manage media. We're going to go to settings here and look for the display. So we're going to go to layout, and we are going to grab, let's see. Let's do the slideshow for now. Actually, let me go ahead and see my settings over here because I tend to forget. So we do have the slider. Boom. And I think that's actually, let's go ahead and see what the settings I have on here. Let's go to customize layout, and we have crop fixed 3x4. Crop fixed and 3x4. There we go. And then we're going to do automatically slide, loop images. And then I believe those are the only settings that we have. 4 and 20. All right, we're going to do the spacing be 20. Perfect. So all we're going to do here now is we are going to place the Pro Gallery in a container. So what I'm going to do here is I am clicking the Pro Gallery. That's hard to say, but I'm like plural gallery. I don't know, man. Let's see. Place. We're going to go ahead and click. As we click this, we're going to click the 3 dots. We're going to go to place in container. And, oh, Rojoy, I appreciate you. Love the channel. Well, we love you. Thank you for returning. First off, how does you find the channel? and what do you like most about the channel, and when did you find it? Okay, so we've got the container. What we're going to do is we're going to take this container. We now have our container selected. What we're going to do is the same thing. We want flexibility. We want advanced settings always. As we select the container, we see the pixels with the stars. We don't want that. Let's get rid of it. So again, 3 stars or 3 dots. I want them to be stars, guys. We're going to click advanced settings. And now we get all of our percentages, viewport height, access to all of that stuff. So what we're going to go ahead and do right now, the width of this is 45%. We don't want 45%. We want exactly what we have here, which is a nice full width pro gallery. So we're going to go ahead and say 100%. And what that 100% is, it's taking a look at, the container is looking at the whole width of our viewport width and saying, okay, well, the canvas is 1400 pixels. What's 100% of that? It's 1400. But what that does is, as the viewport shrinks, expands, that container follows along. So we don't have to keep like pixel changing. So that's how we build responsible on Wix Studio. Now I'm going to do the same thing that we did to the container to the pro gallery. And there's a couple ways to do this. For example, I could just set the pro gallery. I'm just gonna call it the gallery, guys. I can't do it. I could set the pro gallery to 100%, and it will decide and look at the entire. Actually, what it will do is it will look at the container's width and apply itself to that. So if we look at this, the cookies here, the container set to 100%, so it's going to flex to the full width of the full website width canvas or canvas width. The container, because it's 100%, will look at the math or the width of the container and adjust accordingly. So now what we want to do with this is I kind of want to expand the height of this. And so what we have here on the original design is we have a height of 360 pixels. So we're going to go in here, and you guys can decide to do this on your own. If you like the way that this is in the template, keep it the way it is. But if you don't, be my guest and change it. And let me look one more time to make sure I have this selected correctly. Container is 360 and the pro gallery is 360. So I've set them both, but I think now in hindsight, all I really need to do is type in 360 for the height. And now for the pro gallery, I think all I need to do is type in 100% for the height. And I think we're fine. Perfect. So, and again, like I said, there's a million ways to do things. Even the way that I did it prior was correct. I capped it at the height of 360, but now that I'm doing this again, found a more efficient way. All right, so now what we have, let's go ahead and change some of these colors here. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my inspector panel here. And first off, I'm gonna, again, as we see these pixels, these stars next to the pixels, I'm gonna go to advanced settings just so I can get those out of there, because in my opinion, sometimes they start to cause issues as we get into the responsive side of things. Next thing I want to do is I want to change and make sure, because we have the structure, we have the text, we have the button, we have the pro gallery. Literally next is to add shapes, colors, background colors, and we're pretty much done. After that, we're going to be putting in some animations. We can answer some of you guys' questions. We might be able to bring this a little bit more advanced if you guys want. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to, the first thing here, like any design tool, there's margin, there's position, there's colors in the inspector panel for our button. I don't like that it's attached to this left side here. I want it to be center always. So this margin, I'm actually going to zero out, and I'm going to just make sure that this button is center here so that it has no margin or docking. It's just going to stay center in my stack that I have. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to click my button, go to the color panel, click my orange that I have saved. And let me see, do we have black or, okay, cool. We have white still. I'm going to round the corners here just a little bit. I'm going to go to corners, same thing like in Figma, Adobe XD, back in the day Sketch. Some of you guys probably don't even know what those things are. It's kind of just like when I was teaching jiu-jitsu yesterday and I asked if a kid knew what Gumby was. Apparently they knew what it was. And that was crazy. That, you know, that was actually really cool. Do you know what Gumby is, Cole? Probably not.
Yes, yeah, I do.
Wow, 2 in a full week. How do you know what Gumby is? Did you watch it as a kid?
Oh no, I didn't watch it. I just heard about it in passing.
In memes, only in
In memes.
memes. I dig it. So since I asked Cole chat, who knows Gumby? Put a +1 or a thumbs up in the chat. We have to know who is still repping Gumby out here. Okay, it'll make my day. It'll make me feel less old. My back hurts out here. All right, so next thing, we have our text, we have our button, we have our gallery. Next, we're gonna get into more of the boring stuff, but we need it for responsivity and also just to be a little bit more specific with what we're doing. So as a designer, we kind of do have to have a little bit of a engineering brain. We have to do this in Figma too, especially as we're transferring our designs and our specs over to developers. We have to have the language and the ability to be like, hey, please, we need this exactly here. Do not have it 1 pixel off to the left, 1 pixel off to the right. We need to know that language and we need to have it here. Rojoy, I'm glad you know Gumby. Thank God. And I think there was something I missed in the chat related to, can we do this in WordPress? Question is, I'm sure you can do this in WordPress, Ahmed, but it's much easier in Wix Studio. WordPress, I feel like I have to find my soul in the morning just to wake up, just to open up WordPress, just to do this, and it will take a whole day. So if you don't want to do that, if you want to feel good about yourself, definitely I'm sure you're a great person. I'm sure you already feel great about yourself, but it's really about my skill set, not about it's my capabilities. Wix Studio makes my life easier, and literally what we're showing you today in literally an hour. Honestly, this takes probably 30 minutes if my mouth was closed, maybe 15 to be honest. But I'm trying to crack jokes, ask you guys about Gumby, and also show you guys a little bit of Wix Studio and how it works at its base level. So yes to WordPress, but you're gonna be in there for 5 days for what you can do here in 15. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do here is I want this section. I could honestly leave this alone, but I'm a little bit of I'm a design snob. I want everything to be exact, okay? So if we go to the original design here, you can see that there are weird numbers and things going on that I'm pointing to over here. We have this max C and this min 464. A lot of you guys are like, all right, that is definitely alien technology. What's happening? So all this is it's dictating the height of these sections rows. So what I want this to do, I could leave this as it is, but what I want it to do is I want it to be max content. And what that's going to do is it's going to read what is in the section or in that row, what is its height, and just smush that row to the height of what is in there. And so let's go ahead and go back here. I'm going to close this max piece here. And for whatever reason, this is not adhering, and we'll fix it later. Again, this is just being a stickler. Do we need to have this? No, but I like it that way. And for whatever reason, we might just need to refresh, but we'll keep working and we'll do that in the last pieces here. All right. So literally the last piece, all you need to do for desktop, it's honestly, we could be done. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click this plus. I'm going to go to shapes, and they're escaping me right here. I'm going to just pull this on my dashboard or my canvas here. I'm going to pull it into my secondary row. It gives me a nice little clover. That's cute, but that's not what we're using. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to look for a half circle. And I wonder what they're called actually. Let me see. Can I type this in? Half circle. All right, this is actually giving me literally half circles. All right, we're gonna have to eyeball it because I know they're in here. And if it takes a little too long, I'm just gonna copy and paste it. But essentially what we're looking to do is we're looking to grab this basic shape. I wonder what they call it. I wish they had names. Half round. What would you name this, Cole? Like, what would you name this shape? Like, I bet this was someone's job to name it, and I bet that was like the hardest thing.
I think it's just a half circle, but you stretched it out, so it's kind of more of like an oval shape. Like if you go back up, I saw a half circle that kind of,
Oh, you know what? It's probably this.
yeah,
Probably
it's
that.
probably semicircle.
Semicircle. All right, let's play with that, chat. So we'll get rid of our clover. We're going to go to our half circle here. Let's add that to page. And we're going to rotate this puppy a little bit. So we're going to rotate it. Actually, we're going to flip it just like that. We are going to, again, we see the stars next to the pixels. We don't want to mess with those. Advanced settings. Scale size proportionally. All right, so let's talk about this. So this checkbox, if I try to adjust the size or whatnot, it's going to stay like this ladybug wing. Okay, we don't want that. So we're going to click this scale size proportionally so that I can actually stretch. Hold on, let's make sure. I think there's another thing. What do we have here? Let me see if I can. There's another setting in here. What if I do 100? And let me do pixels here. This is when we troubleshoot, ladies and gentlemen. But this is the fun part. You guys get to see, this has already been done, but you guys get to see, all right, something went wrong. How is this fixed? And what is this actually named? Because I think, let me duplicate this one more time. Let's actually, because it has all the settings, let me pull this in and see if it does. Okay, all right. So even though I changed it, it's fine. Let me pull in something else and see if it still adheres to. Okay, cool. So it's a setting thing. So what did we do?
Maybe are you, yeah, go back. Go into the wheel icon there, or the gear icon. And then turn off keep original proportion.
There it is.
Yeah.
Smart man Cole. See, this is why we have to have two heads in the live chat, guys. Because sometimes I lose it. All right, guys. So even though the side, really all those things should be in here, to be honest. But yes, this little cogwheel, when you were messing with shapes, go to the cogwheel or the settings. This little puppy, keep original proportions, turn that sucker off. All right, so all we're gonna do here now is this is inside. Let's open up our layers panel here just to make sure that our basic shape is inside our container and not on top of it, because we want everything collectively in that folder or container. I'm going to turn this width to 100%. And I'm gonna keep the height at, well, I can just drag this up to whatever. We can just play around with this and see what we like and don't like. I'm gonna make sure that this is, was that Alana that helped us out there, or was that Cole? Did that come from your brain?
Well, I was kind of guessing, but then Alana was definitely helping out.
Teamwork. I love it. Teamwork. All right. This is why you guys have to have community, ladies and gentlemen. They help you out in each and every way. There's a little bit of a puzzle piece that you can give, and there's a puzzle piece that you can receive from your awesome family members from NewForm. Okay, so we have the first piece. All I'm going to do is going to hit Control D, so I get a second piece. And we are going to push this to the bottom of the container, and we are going to also make sure that it's on all the way to the left, and we are going to flip this. I see we have a in the chat. Let us know what the question is. All right, so we have everything. All we're going to go ahead and do, so this is why we call it the faux 3D slider effect, because honestly all we're doing is we're using shapes to hide the remainder of the slider to give this really cool effect. We haven't changed the color yet, but we're going to do all that now. We're going to change everything to be the color of this menu here. So we're going to go ahead and select the background here of our section. We're going to go to the color piece, and do we have this saved? All right, cool. And I'm just going to select this F8, F6, F2. You guys don't need to remember that. We're now like in the 23rd century or whatever. You guys can just click buttons or use the template that we have, as Cole looks at me crazily. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing for our our little shapes here, our stretch out butterfly or our ladybug wings, we're going to click the same color here. So now everything blends in. So when we go to preview this really quick, now we can kind of see we have a little bit of a line here, and we don't want that. That is not within our, what's it called? There's something to be fixed there, because even in our finished product here, which is, this is the live site, we don't have that line. So let's go ahead and figure out what that line issue is. You guys are seeing Troubleshooting live. All right, so let's figure this out. So we're going to select this shape here. We're going to open up the inspector panel, and here it is. So we have a 1 pixel margin. That shape has 1 pixels between the edge of the container that it's within. We're going to delete that, and it is now fixed. So this is literally, this is the end product. Like, if you guys just want the desktop, you're Gucci. We're here. I just talked a lot. We got 20 minutes left, and we can use that time to just make this responsive. It's really easy. So again, if you guys have any questions, just let us know. Cole, do we have anything? Are people just nice, delectably, and satiated by the content? Nothing in the chat?
You know, I think your explanation was pretty clear. We don't have anything right now.
One difficile. Okay. All right, so we're just going to move on to the last pieces here. So we're going to go to tablet, and then we're going to go to mobile, and then we're going to close out. Or actually, let's go ahead and do, before we do mobile and tablet, because that will be the end. Let's go ahead and get our animations in here. So this stuff is pretty easy. All we're going to go, oh wait, is this the, this is the finished one. Okay, this is what we're working on. Because I was like, aha, that's a container, it's a lie. We did a stack. Okay, so all we're gonna do for animations, this is also for our our question about, can you do this in WordPress? You can, but this is probably gonna blow your guys' minds because this is super easy. There's a lot of baked in animations that we can use and then tweak a little bit. So for the animations, what I like to do is stagger them, but let's just show you how to put them in. So we're going to select our stack. We're going to go over to our inspector panel to this lightning animations and effects. We're going to click that and go to entrance animations. There's a whole bunch for you guys to check out and see what it, you guys can change it. There's a lot, but the one that I used for this is we're going to use a tilt, and we can adjust the animation. I want it to happen a little bit faster, 0.2. I want to just have it 1 second duration. Delay, we'll keep it as is, because what we want to happen is this flying first and the slideshow flying after. And so to do that, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I can click the Pro Gallery so I can get to the container that holds everything. Go back to our inspector panel. Same thing, go back to entrance, and we are going to use the float animation like that. We're going to adjust the animation so we can have a delay. We don't want all the animations to happen at once. So we know that our text comes in after a second. You can choose to have things stagger, so you can have text come in at a minute. Please don't do that. At a second, and then you can have your animation start a little bit after that, or it can wait a whole second. I highly recommend that you don't do the 1 second afterwards. You want everything to load in nicely, just but in a nice gradual way. So the duration, I think I'm also going to set this to 1 second, but the delay, I was playing around it and I liked it at 0.3. So it starts a little bit after the text is coming in. I'm just going to hit enter. I'm going to preview. And there we go. Pretty simple stuff. Now we can, Alana says, don't even get me started on the WordPress. I understand. So now we're going to just wrap this up. Just going to tablet or go to mobile, things get shrunk. We just have to adjust what it is that we want to see there, which is really not that difficult. The tablet, or the, excuse me, the, where are we? My brain just farted hella loud. The tablet, all we have to do here is just some size changing. So all I'm going to do, and this is also why I like containers, because I can actually scale a container. But with stacks, you can only scale what is within, what's inside them. So I'm going to go ahead and scale the text. Again, I'm going to go to, we don't need to mess with the size. We're just going to mess with the font size here. We're going to go ahead and play with 140. I'm going to stretch it out so that we have 2 lines here. We are going to increase the button size and the text size. We're going to set this to 14 to start. We're going to center everything again. Change some of the padding here. Center this back up. Make sure I'm selecting the stack. There we go. Just do a quick check here. Slider takes a little bit time to rescale, but this is what we have here. Let's go to mobile. We're going to do pretty much the same thing, except the Pro Gallery be playing games. But it is going to, I think honestly, it's just the way that it's displayed. So it changed to grid here. And let's see what we had over here. How did we play this? Oh, same thing. We just, okay. It's the easy way. So we're going to change this back from grid. We're going to change it back to slider. There we go. So it respects our authority. And we're going to change the font size here again. I'm going to try to just guess. I wonder if I did 120 here as well. Just scale this here. We're going to have 3 lines. We're going to increase the size of the button and the text. And we're going to increase the size that we have here, or rather the spacing between the button and the text. We're going to select our stack, make sure that it is vertical and horizontally centered within that row. And honestly, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to check one last thing, make sure we got our corners. We want to have at least a little bit of corner flare. Not that much. That's send that back. Return to sender. Okay. I'm gonna add about 6 maybe. It might be too much. I don't know. What do you think, Cole? Should we do corners, no corners, semi-corners?
Sorry, I was muted. I think that since the Pro Gallery doesn't have any corners, I think no corners is the way to go.
Okay, no corners. We'll do no corners. 0 corners. I like that you guys like my return to sender. You guys think that's funny? Honestly, when things go bad in the day, I literally say that out loud. I'm like, I didn't like return to sender, turn the day back. I didn't like it at all. But yes. All right, and I think that works out for us. Now, you can get super minute and detail oriented. We have all the things that we need. We'll do one last animation here for the button when we are going to mess with a mouse effect. Actually, we have 2 more things. We're going to do a track. We're going to adjust this because on default, this is what the button does. We do not want that. That's a little too much. So we're going to mess with the distance. Basically what this says, as your mouse is moving, how far do you want the button to move in relation to your mouse? I want that sucker to move like 5 pixels. I just want it to move a little bit. So it's nice and subtle here. It's a little artistic, but it's not much. And the last thing is we are going to change the cursor as our cursor is within the section that we've made. So we're going to go ahead and select our section, and we are going to try to find the cursor section here. We're going to add an image or SVG. So you can upload your own SVGs or use what Wix has at his disposal. Today, we did use this arrow, but I totally, you know what, we're just going to use the faster. I know it has nothing to do with the design, but it feels like how I've been feeling this entire, okay, it's small right now. Let's go ahead and fix that. It's how I felt this entire session. We can scale this up here in the size. So we're going to scale it up right about there. So at least we can read it. Totally. Oh, and we need to fix this hover. Totally does not mesh the design at all. So I just thought it was funny. This is why I'm on ADHD medication, guys. And just for the record, it makes me extremely tired. It's crazy. Welcome to the TMI session. This was not Q&A. So let's fix this hover interaction. We're going to go to, we're going to click our button. We're going to go to hover. We don't want blue. we can pick anything that we want. I'm gonna do our orange and then just edit the orange a little bit. Oh wait, hold up. We'll just make this, maybe we'll just, we'll make it lighter. Something like that. Easy enough. Don't have to think too much, otherwise we'll be here and I'll be testing a million different covers or colors, and we do not have time for that. I'll save your lives. Okay. So we are going to preview this again. We've got our nice little arrow. We had our animations. We have a little button moving, and we have our awesome little slider here. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to delete the footer, be my guest. If you guys want to shrink and make the section a little bit tighter, be my guest. But that is really it, ladies and gentlemen. And also we can squeeze this. Everything kind of stays the same. And we're good. It goes all the way from mobile all the way down to tablet. We still have all the same rules. If you guys want to, again, I think at the mobile level, it shows one photo at a time, which is fine. You guys can play with that if you want to. I don't know how you'll be showing two. One is fine. But this is basic stuff. We wanted to try and show you guys something basic that we can do very quickly, but also to introduce you guys to our component library, which is really went live yesterday. It's still in beta. We're trying to play with really what you guys want to see, but also learning what the best process is to get you guys into not only learning Wix Studio, but to give you guys tools that are designed really awesome to use for your own personal projects, your client work, and just be a resource for you guys to not just learn, but for a place to come to get tools to use in the real world and learn along the way. Alana is asking, where can I download this component? Thank you, Alana, because I totally did not put it in the description because I built this really late last night. But if you guys, the one link that is in the description is our NewForm community website. If you guys want to go there, the component library is right here. We simply can click that. And also, Alana and Jay were one of the people who helped this come alive. If it wasn't for them, we would not have this. Honestly, we need to put like some shout outs on this page for you guys. But all you have to do, and this is not just one, we are uploading all of our past templates, assets, components to this page. It's going to take us a week. And Cole's got some really awesome stuff in the works, and both of us really do in the future. We've got some basic stuff today, but as time goes on, we're going to have a lot more advanced things.
Yeah.
And so this is where you download it. This is a screenshot of it. Tells you exactly what it is, a little bit of a description. You can see the demo, which is exactly what we built here today. And you can watch the tutorial, which I'm not going to open because it's literally this live stream. But it's going to be here. If you guys are worried about not having access to this, this is staying on YouTube. So if you guys are watching this on Instagram, again, comment YouTube, check out the live stream. It will be recorded. And for those of you guys who are watching the replay, up to the next live stream. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is it. Hopefully you guys learned a lot, even if this was basic. You know, we try to get a little bit of fundamental stuff in here, as well as a showcase of how to build something, and then leave a little bit of room for some Q&A or, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? Really just to answer your questions and show off the capabilities of Wix Studio. So with that being said, thank you guys. I'm just looking at the chat really quick. We have Peeps, we have Den. Howdy doody. You are very welcome. And we have, hold on one second. Imran.
That sounded
Imran.
pretty good.
All right, I think Imran, I apologize if that is not how you pronounce your name. Just holler at me. Let me know how to pronounce it. We would love to also have you in the community as well if you are not in there. And I guess you're saying I can only network with Fiverr right now. What exactly do you mean in terms of Fiverr?
We were having a little conversation about working with Wix and being in Turkey and whatnot.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, doing business with utilizing Wix in Turkey.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that we all work on the internet. The best thing is that we're global. No matter where you live, you have the ability to be global if you own a computer. Sure, you'll have to have additional skills, but literally you live in Turkey and you're messaging us in English. So that one, you probably know other languages as well, but you have access to people who use Wix in the States, in Canada, other English speaking states, other places as well. So really the world is your oyster. It's just how do you access or communicate with those people that are, one, using Wix Studio, or using Wix, or have the ability to use Wix, and or want to. Because you don't want to kind of sell your services in a place that necessarily isn't looking for them. You want to go to the places, whether it's in person or online. I highly recommend it online, because I like to sit in my house, don't really like to go anywhere. This is why I do what I do. But being able to find the right people online to sell your services to them is a lot easier than sticking in the pool where people don't understand what it is that you're serving, and you have to like somehow convince them. You don't want to find people you have to convince. You want people who have a need and who are open to a solution that you have. We have a ton of interviews in our NewForm resources of past events about people talking about it, their process, things like that. So if you want to check that out, again, it's on the NewForm community site, and highly recommend you check those out because they are absolutely amazing. And again, if you need to see where that is, again, it's on our NewForm site. You can go to resources, and all the interviews are here, especially ones with Duncan. We talk about e-commerce. We talk about, where is it? I think there's a ton. And even on this YouTube channel, if you just go to the link of the live streams, we have a lot of awesome guests sharing their knowledge, how they built their agency, how they, what their sales process is, how they get their leads, things like that. It's a lot of great knowledge, and there's different processes based on what type of person you are. Each person we've interviewed has had a different process, which is absolutely awesome, because if one process you're kind of like ill, usually there's another person where you're like, that's actually something I'm really interested in, and it kind of works with the type of person I am. Let me go ahead and give that a try. So that is it. Cole, do you have any closing remarks?
Well, thank you for that awesome tutorial, Brandon. I think it was much easier to understand than my tutorials, so thank you. Yeah, if you're watching this, we're having another workshop quite like this, but with myself instead of Brandon, next week, same exact time, Wednesday. So come join us if you want to check that out. And yeah, Brandon already mentioned our challenge, but if you have not, if you were not there for that, you should come join it. We have 11 days, I think is what you said, Brandon. We have 11 days left to win up to $1,500, $2,000 in our total prize pool. Yeah, so come create a cool software UI and win some money.
Yes, sir. And also, let me see if this actually works. We made some really cool, I know this is really tiny on desktop, but I needed it to fit, so it fit it on Instagram. But we've made some really cool trophies that we're super proud of. And a lot of you guys a lot of the people who submitted their work, the people who get placed get this awesome trophy, and it's something that you guys can share along with your work on social media. It's a stamp of approval, not only from the NewForm community, but also from the Wix Studio team. So with that being said, you not only get money, you not only build your skill, but you get something cool to share as a seal of approval from an awesome community like ours, but an awesome brand like Wix. And recognition not only by them internally, that can do a lot of stuff for you guys. Our community is always about building skills, education, and really those who embark on the journey of building skills, but also creating cool stuff. Our job and our really mission is to put you guys on a stage, help you guys build skills, get showcased. If you guys are watching on Instagram, we have our communities combined. Me and Cole's are around 900,000. We have an email list. I've stopped counting, but it's somewhere around like 20K. And also we have, Wix behind us. So there's a lot of ways, whether you're creating something in our community, there's ways to get you in front of the right people. to make connections. So with that said, guys, I hope you guys join us in NewForm. If you guys are on Instagram, comment join. We'll send you an automatic DM to how you can join. If you guys are interested in the challenge and or joining the NewForm community and you're on YouTube, links are in the description. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for your time. I'm excited to see you guys later today. If you guys want to join us in our design and chat, which is kind of a weekly session where we get to meet some of our new community members, shoot the shit, talk to one another. Not only just meet, but if there's struggles, if you're starting design, you don't know where to start, or if there's a technical challenge you're working on and you have questions, join us and we'll try to unstick you. Or if it's even about the event, same thing. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. And if you are a part of our community, you guys will get a recap and a link to download the template. There's about 6 of you guys already using it, so look out in your inbox. All right, guys, take it easy. Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah.